Okay, welcome to another edition of VentureSome, where we're moving around the country, starting in the wet tropics in far north Queensland, meeting some of the tour operators that make a pleasant stay for many of the visitors that go to those areas. Uh, Here we're joined today by Roderic Rees, who is the owner of Cairns Adventure Group. Hi, Roderic, how are you?
Good, Simon. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Yes, very well indeed. As well as we can be at the moment. I mean, suffering a little bit from the isolation, but enjoying the company that we get from doing these nonetheless. Um, Rod, just to start with, could you tell me a little bit about what you do and the business that you run?
Yeah, sure. We've got Cairns Adventure Group's a group of four different brands and companies running together. It's a mix of we call it water-based products and rainforest products. So we've got some whitewater rafting with Foaming Fury. Uh, we've got Active Tropics Explorer doing day and overnight trips up to Cape Tribulation. Waterfall Wanderers is our newest company. It's been around for a few years now, 4 or 5 years, and does day tours through the Atherton Tablelands doing the waterfall circuit. And then Aussie Drifters is our river tubing brand, so our other river product.
Yeah, and we were talking yesterday about your personal passions, I suppose, and uh, tell me what it is that kind of drives you to do what you do up there most of all.
Yeah, look, I'm really passionate about the Cairns region and far north Queensland. I grew up here and I really enjoy the natural landscapes. I think we got the best of all worlds up here. So I mean, we've got the Great Barrier Reef to the east and the Savannah country out to the west. If you're down to the south, we've got two of Queensland's highest mountains and a waterfall circuit and beautiful rainforest. And then up to the north, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows only a few hours drive away, we're on the doorstep of the Daintree National Park in Cape Tribulation. So there's so much, such a amazing variety of outdoor experiences and landscapes that you can experience. And my real passion is giving not only local people the opportunity to work in adventure tourism and enjoy those things themselves, but also educate them, with training programs on how they can use the tourism industry as a great source of income and give them the opportunity to share that pride that they feel, similar to me, about our region with visitors from around Australia and around the world.
Go tell me a bit more about the mentoring. So you're telling me you've got programs for guide training. So you've got young sort of youth workers, I guess, that start with the business early on and work their way up, and that centres quite a bit around your adventure tour side of things as well, doesn't it? The whitewater rafting and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we got a wide variety of age groups of guides, but we're definitely all young at heart. That's the key to the business. But our whitewater rafting side obviously attracts our young guys and girls who are interested in that adventure tourism, and we see it as a great opportunity to get these guys the skills in all the things that are associated with conducting those whitewater tours, and then look to cross train them into different rainforest tours and get them passionate about educating people. So wide variety of ages, but key focus of the business is definitely to be fun and professional and light at heart and young in spirit.
Yeah, well, and we'd all like to be that once more. I suppose sharing time with young people is one way we can do it. Um, yeah, and we were chatting quite a bit yesterday when we spoke first about ecology and the rainforest as well, because I think we share a similar kind of background and views
Mm.
on that. And the we're doing this series with Ecotourism Australia for a reason, because you're one of the long-standing accredited companies that work with them, and so you're recognised for, amongst other things, your community impact, which you've already talked about, but also the impact you have on people and on the region. And you can't separate yourself from that being in the Daintree. I mean, just tell us a little bit about the Daintree from your perspective.
Yeah, sure. Look, we're really proud to be a part of ecotourism, and we're inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, and something that my wife and I and the team are really, really proud of. You know, we have a strong affiliation to the Daintree National Park. I believe it's a really special place on the planet. You know, a lot of people know about it. For those of you who don't, the oldest living rainforest on the planet, most biodiverse. Well, we talked about this yesterday. Biodiverse rainforest environment per hectare of animal species. But look, such a rich place for Indigenous history. Also, early settlement days, but rich natural history in flora and fauna, and tracing back early species of plants and unique animals that live just in this environment. And and we feel really passionate about, and I suppose a sense of responsibility about conserving this fragile and unique environment that's on our doorstep. And we see a key part of that is about educating visitors that come to the area. And I think we touched on this philosophy yesterday that I hold at my core, is that, you know, conservation starts with education. And if I can educate my guides through our programs to be super passionate about you know, the rainforest environments, and they can then pick up that passion, learn stuff themselves, and pass that on to people traveling, then people go away with a sense of understanding why it's so important to conserve these natural environments, because they know what they're going to be looking after, because they've seen it and touched it and felt it and heard these amazing stories about, you know, maybe some flora or some fauna, or had an encounter with a cassowary or something that's left a mark on them. And I believe that's the root of the beginning of conservation. It starts with that ideology.
Yeah, and I asked you a question yesterday. I'll repeat now. Was about what I said. What if you were to, if I was to send someone to you who thinks they know it all, you know, what would be the most inspiring thing you would do for them to surprise them? What would be that? What would that be?
Oh, geez, tough. That's a tough question. Look, I think it would be something different for everybody. For me, it's probably um, learning about autotrophs, and the importance of the mangrove environment and how that comes right in on the edge of the rainforest. And in some of the boardwalks that we take, you're literally walking straight out of the Daintree National Park World Heritage listed area. 2 steps later, you're in a mangrove environment, and right on the edge of the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park World Heritage listed area, only place in the world where two of these sites share a border. And I think there's something really magical about that.
Mangrove is one of my favorite topics. I think it was a recent publication that demonstrates 40 times more carbon storage than rainforest trees, and it's all to do with the amount of animals processing all of that material constantly through all the leaf fall and so on. It's an incredible process.
Yeah, it sure is. And you know, it's an environment that a lot of people who live in these metropolitan areas maybe have never had the opportunity to walk through before, or to learn about, or maybe didn't even know that it was interesting. You know, so to be able to share that knowledge with them, I think is pretty pretty spectacular.
So tell me a little bit about the waterfall tour. So you've got your, because you've got your adventure tours. We've seen the whitewater rafting and so on. You've got the wildlife tours, the walks and so on. But you've also got sort of this middle of the ground thing that I mean, I guess you got something for everybody. But if I'm just going to pluck up a bit of video. Maybe you can just tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, sure. Um, this is the stuff up in the Daintree National Park here, heading through. But like you mentioned, we also run Waterfall Wanderers, which is here we go, which is based on you know, really light-hearted, soft adventure, swimming in a bunch of different waterfalls, seeing the, you know, Curtin Fig Tree, famous waterfalls, iconic waterfalls like Miller Falls that you're seeing there, educating people about crater lakes, and just having a really light-hearted, fun day that's full of swimming and adventure and wildlife, um, and showing people, you know, the landscapes that we have here in a much more casual setting. It's the sort of thing that, you know, that that I would take my friends from down south or overseas. If they came and said, "What do you want to do today?" I'd be like, "Well, let's take you to this great waterfall because it's going to be awesome. It's visually spectacular. It's lovely to swim in. It's not too far away." So the concept was, why not share that with everybody rather than just the friends?
All right, so final question then. So for someone considering a tour to far north Queensland, what's your best recommendations for them? Because a lot of people will go to the Daintree. I know from visiting the Daintree and speaking to operators there, people see it as a day trip location. Go in, spend half a day, come out again. But what would you recommend?
Oh, that's like asking to choose between my children. I recommend they do all of the tours that I offer. And aside from me, there's so many great operators in this region. There's so many people that work so hard and provide such a wide variety of tours. I mean, from Indigenous tours to reef tours to rainforest tours. Personally, I love the whitewater rafting.
Mm.
I'm super passionate about rafting. I rafted all over the place. I love the adrenaline, and I love seeing people push through that barrier of getting in the boat really nervous and apprehensive, and then getting down 5 or 6 big rapids, and then finding that sense of exhilaration, like they're broken through the fear ceiling. So it's a really responsive tour, the rafting. For me, it would be the rafting, but for everybody else, you could probably try all 4 of my tours.
Nice way to end. Roderic, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck with it all out there. Hopefully we'll get out of the other side of this soon enough and people will be able to come to see you. So for anyone watching, drop onto Cairns Adventure Group's website, follow on Facebook. Same with Wildiaries, check us out, check out Ecotourism Australia. Plenty to read about online, and we'll be back again with more interviews later. Roderic, again, thank you for your time. Been a pleasure.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me and facilitating all this. It's a great thing you're doing.
No problem. Thanks. Bye-bye.